Hi everybody, Mr. Saunders here. Hope you're all ready for learning today with lesson number 6 of our maths learning together. So let's get going with what we are doing today. So first of all, as always, what are we going to need for our learning today? And again, all we're going to need today is something to write with and something to write on. So you can choose exactly what you want to write with, a pen, pencil, whiteboard pen, whatever you want to use. And you need something to write on, so paper, whiteboard, in a book, completely up to you. So if you haven't got those things, pause the video now. If you have, then we can get going with our learning straight away. Now, to warm our brains up today, I thought we could look for some shapes, and we're looking at 2D shapes, or looking for 2D shapes in this picture. So pause the video now and see how many different 2D shapes you can spot within this picture. Excellent. I wonder how many different 2D shapes you managed to find. I can see, looks like a square over here for that television at the front. And I can see a hexagon up here for the clock. It's got 6 sides, hexagon. I can see, let me have a look. I can see an octagon here on my stop sign, a 8-sided shape. And I can actually see some semicircles here as well, and a triangle. I wonder if you saw any different shapes than I've seen. Well done if you managed to find some of those shapes. So what are we going to be learning about today? Now, in our previous lessons, we've looked at using Deans and looked at using place value counters to represent 3-digit numbers. And today we're going to look at a different representation of number. And today we're going to be using a number line. Now, I'm sure all of you will have used number lines before at school. But today, so we're still going to need to use tens and ones. We're going to need to use number lines, and actually we're going to look at a different type of number line called a number track. And a really important word today is going to be this word, the word estimate. And we're going to talk about what that means in a minute. You might already know. So what does estimating actually mean? Estimating is actually to find something close to the correct answer. So it's a bit like a prediction, a bit like a guess, but we're using the clues and we're making an educated guess about what we think the answer might be. Now, we estimate things all the time without realizing it in real life. I wonder if you can think of any times that we might estimate things in real life. I've got an example. You might estimate how far something is away. If it was quite a long way away, you wouldn't measure exactly how far it was, but you might make a guess. You might estimate how far it is. You might also estimate if you're baking, for example, and you might estimate how much of each ingredient you need if you haven't got some scales to be able to weigh it out. I wonder if you can think of any other times where you might estimate things in real life. Have a think. Fantastic, great thinking. Fantastic, let's carry on then and see how we're going to use estimating today when we use number lines or number tracks. So number lines are a line that have got numbers along it. That's why it's called a number line. But number lines don't have to start at 0 and they don't have to end at the same number. They can start at any number and they can end at any number. Numbers don't have to count up in ones, and you can see on my number line I've got at the bottom, I'm counting up in 5s, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. So I don't have to count up in ones, I can count up in 5s, whatever number I would like to count up on. Can you remember in lesson number 2 when we looked at counting in hundreds and we had number lines that counted up in multiples of 100? So you don't have to count up in ones. So here I've made the number 25 out of Deans, which we've done before, out of place value counters, 2 10s, 5 1s, and I've shown 25 on my number line. So I've represented the number 25 in lots of different ways. And today we're going to use number lines to represent some of these numbers. So first of all, number lines, we can use number lines to work out what we're counting in. So I've got some examples here, and I want to see if you can work out what we are counting in each time. So here's my first one. So my first one, this is called a number track because it looks a bit like a track and the numbers are in boxes. So here I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Who can tell me what number am I counting up in each time? Call it out. Well done if you said the number 5, because I am counting up in 5s each time, because the difference between 5 and 10 is 5. I've added 5. And the difference between 10 and 15 is 5. So can you see I'm counting up in 5s each time? Well done. Here's my next one. And these numbers are 28, 26, 24, 22, 20, 18, 16. I wonder if you can work out what number I am counting up or down in on this number track. Now, it's fairly obvious that in this one we are counting down because the numbers are going down, they're getting smaller. Let's work out then what we're counting down in. So here I'm starting on 28 and I'm counting down to 26, 28, 27, 26. So I've taken away 2. What about 26 to 24? Starting on 26, 25, 24. So on this number track, I'm taking away 2 each time. Well done if you managed to get that one. The last one then goes 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 30. I wonder if you can work out what I'm counting in on this number line. Fantastic. Let's start on number 9. And I'm going to count on, because my numbers are getting bigger, so I know I'm counting on 9 to 12, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I've counted on 3 there. And let's check 12 to 15, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm adding on 3. So can you see on number lines or number tracks, I can count forwards or backwards, and I can count up in different numbers each time. On my top number track, I counted up in 5s. Then in this number track, I counted down in 2s. And here, I counted up in 3s. Well done. Excellent. Our next challenge then is to work out what numbers are missing. So here we go. 18, 16, something, 12, 10, something, and then 6. So the first thing we need to do is work out what we're counting up or down in. I wonder if you can tell me, are we counting up or down on this number track? What do you think? Call it out. Yeah, we're counting down, aren't we? Because if we start on 18 and we don't go up to 16, we count down to 16. So what are we taking away each time? Let's work it out. 18, 17, 16. I've counted down. I've taken away 2 in there. So if I start on 16 and count down 2 more, what would I end up on? Well done, I would end up on 14 because 16, take away 2 is 14. Let's work out this one then. Here I'm on 10, I need to take away 2. 10 take away 2 is, well done, is 8. Fantastic. Excellent. Let's have a look at our next one. 4, 7, 10, something, something, 19, 22. So the first thing we've got to do again is work out if we're counting up or down. What do you think? Yeah, well done. We are counting up, aren't we? Because 4, 7, 10, we're going up. But what are we counting up in? Let's start on 7 and count along to 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. We've added 3. Fantastic. So let's work out this gap. 10 add 3 is 13. Well done. And 13 add 3 is 16. Well done. Fantastic. So can you see here we've added 3 each time to work out the missing numbers. Our last one here then, this one's a little bit trickier because we haven't got 2 numbers next to each other. 9 something, 15 something, 21 something, 30. Now this is a bit tricky because we can't have, there aren't 2 numbers next to each other that we can work out what we're counting in. So we need to jump 2. So we're going to work out what the difference is between 9 and 15. So I'm going to start on 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've counted on 6. So every 2 boxes, I'm counting on 6. So if I'm counting on 1 box, what would I be counting on each time? If 2 boxes is 6, 1 box would count on 3. Well done, because I'm halving 6. So 9 add 3 is 12. Well done. And now we know we're counting in 3s again. We can work out these ones. 15 add 3, 15, 16, 17, 18, well done. And 21 add 3 is 21, 22, 23, 24. So we have to work out, first of all, if we're counting up or down, then we've got to work out what we're counting up or down in, and then we can use that to help us fill in the gaps. Now, here we're going to estimate, we use that word estimate, make a prediction, make a guess of where these numbers would go. And my number line here starts on 0 and it ends at 20. Now I want to know where the number 10 would go. I wonder if you can work out or where you think the number 10 would go on my number line. Have a think. You might even point on your screen to where you think the number 10 would go. Well done. Lots of people, I think, will be saying somewhere around here. I wonder why the number 10 would go here though. Yeah, the number 10 would go here because it is exactly halfway between 0 and 20. Half of 20 is 10. So 10 would go exactly in the middle of 0 and 20. Now, I haven't got a ruler to be able to tell me exactly where halfway along that line is, but I've made an estimate. I've made a guess close to the right answer. Okay, here's my next number line. 0 it starts with, and this time my number line ends at 100. Where would the number 53 go on this number line? Have a think. Where do you think the number 53 would go? Remember, it doesn't have to be exact, but we're making an estimate close to the correct answer. Have a think. Where do you think 53 would go? Fantastic. Well done. I think most people will be saying somewhere around here, because what is half of 100? Yeah, 50. 50 would be in the middle. And 53 is really close to 50, isn't it? It's only 51, 52, 53, it's only 3 away. So 53 is going to be really close to the middle. Just a little bit towards 100 though, because it's more than half of 100. It's more than 50. Well done. Fantastic. Well done if you got that one. Okay, let's have a look then. Oh, this time my number line starts at 30 and ends at 60. And I want to know this time where you think the number 49 would go. The number 49. Now, if you're getting a bit confused, think about what number 49 is close to. I'll give you a clue. 49 is close to 50, isn't it? Because if we add 1 to 49, we get to 50. So roughly making an estimate, where do you think this number would go? Fantastic. Now, if I'm going to split these, I can see that 30 and 60, I know they're multiples of 10. So if I count 30, 40, 50, 60, so 60 here. So I'm going to put my multiples of 10 in first. So I think if I was counting in tens, they look roughly, they look close to 10 apart, don't they? 30, 40, 50, 60. 49, I know, is one less than 50. So I'm going to put 49 about there. I wonder if you were estimating that 49 would go about there as well. Well done if you did. Okay, on to our activities today then. First of all, I want you to estimate where these numbers would go on your number line. So I would, on your piece of paper, draw a number line from 0 to 50. And then try and work out where these numbers, the number 35, the number 45, the number 6, the number 15, the number 25, the number 31, and the number 49 would go on that number line. Let's do one all together. I'm going to start with the number 25 because I know that 25 is half of 50. So I think half of 50 is about there. So I think 25 would go there. You might think it's a little bit closer this way, a little bit closer that way, but we're making an estimate because we don't know exactly what is where half of that line is, but I'm making an estimate. So pause the video now and see if you can estimate where you think those numbers would go on your number line from 0 to 50. Fantastic, well done. Well done, everybody. Let's have a look at where I have estimated they will go. There is no right answer when we estimate because we're trying to make a guess close to the right answer. So yours might look a little bit different, but there is no right answer. This is where I've put the numbers. I've put 25 in the middle. I knew that 6 was quite close to 0, so it had to go down this end. 15 Well, it's sort of halfway between 0 and 25 would be about 12.5. So I knew it was slightly higher there. 31 and 35 are quite close. 49 is just one less than 50, so that would have to go really close to 50. And then 45 is only 4 less than 49. So that's where I've put my numbers. I know they're in this order because I know that 6 is less than 15 and 15 is less than 25. So I can put them in the right order, but now I'm trying to work out where they go on my number line. Well done for having a go. It's quite tricky, isn't it? Excellent. Let's have a go then at activity number 2. Now, activity number 2 is really, really tricky, but we're going to be resilient and have a go at doing this. And it says, estimate the numbers that could go in the boxes. And again, there's no right answer, but we can make a guess from the clues that we've got here. So I can see that this distance here, I'm going to work out this one first in this first box, and I can see that this distance here is from 0 to 16 is 16. If I made another jump of 16, I think that would get me to about there. I think I'm making an estimate, so I think that's another 16. And I know that 16 add 16 is 32. And I think then I'd need to jump another 16 to get to this one. 32 add 16, I'm going to use my column addition. 2, I'm going to add my ones. 2 add 6 is 8. 3 tens add 1 10 is 4 tens. So I think my number in there would be 48. You might get it to be a different number, but I've estimated using the clues that I've already got on my number line. So pause the video now, have a go at these, have a think about what number you think might go in the boxes, and we'll have a look at what I've estimated them to be in a minute. Well done. Well done, everybody. This is really, really tricky, but I'm really, really proud of you for having a go. Now, I'm going to do this one over here. I'm thinking there, it's about halfway between 0 and 90. And I know that half of 90 is 45. So I think if I did 90, add another 45, because this distance looks roughly the same as this distance. 90 add 45 is 135. So that's what I think goes in that box. You might thought I've got a different number, but I think it would be quite close to 135. Now here, I'm counting backwards, aren't I? So 44 to 37, I've got 44 in my head, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37. I've counted back 7, so I've taken away 7 here. And I think if I took another 7 away to get to there, and another 7 to get to there, I would get to roughly where my answer would be. So 37 take away 7 is 30, and 30 take away 7, I've got 23. Fantastic. And then here, this is the really tricky one, 18 to 63, I worked out as being a gap of 45. And then I think here, so if that's 45, about halfway, I'm thinking roughly half of 45 is 22 and a half, but I'm just going to add 22, I think. So 63, add 22, 85. That's what I've got. But you, again, because I'm estimating, there's no right answer. You might have got a slightly different answer, but well done for giving that a go. Excellent. Well done, everybody, for working so hard today. Number lines are tricky, aren't they? But we can use them to represent numbers in different ways. I'm really, really looking forward to working with you again next time. But until then, bye.